Okay, so for my final project, I decided that I would talk about scams and in specific Ponzi schemes. And I chose to write about this topic for my final project because I thought that it was a topic that really interested me. I know when we were reading, I think it was like in week 3, we talked about scams a little bit in the reading, and I found that really interesting and how to avoid them and like the background behind scams. And just how to avoid them and be cautious when you go into the workplace. I just think it's a very important thing to know. And I decided to do Ponzi schemes in particular because I thought it'd be important for everyone, no matter what like field of work they go into. They should know the red flags of like Ponzi schemes because it's such an easy thing after doing some research to get like sucked into, even if you don't know it's a Ponzi scheme or like a Ponzi pyramid, which I'll get into later. That it actually could be when you think you've just found this amazing job that could be like the next like power empire. It could actually be a scam and a scheme. And so today I hope to share my thoughts and my takeaways after researching for this project. So, what is a scam? A scam, as defined in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is a fraudulent or deceptive act or operation. One thing that comes to mind that I remember I think my aunt was talking about that just comes to mind is I think she saw it on the news, and if I can find it I'll like put a link in my works cited because I think I can find it. But it's about a man who set up a fundraiser to supposedly like build a church, and it was going to be this great church that had like a nice like youth program and would just like give back to like God. And so obviously people in the community were like very eager to donate very generous amounts in order to help fund construction for the church. And so he like does this like big thing. There's like a Facebook page for it, like a GoFundMe where people can donate money, and there's no specific goal. I think they like made it like 50,000 at first, and then $50,000 were raised, and it surpassed that. So it kept getting more and more and more. I think it got to like 180,000. I think, which is a lot of money to scam people. Any money, just even a dollar. You should not scam people. It's bad. But $180,000, that's ridiculous. And he said it was all going to construction of the church to hire the best, like, most heartfelt, like, pastors out there. And instead of using the money to build the church, he ended up making lavish purchases. Such he brought like a brand new Porsche. He brought a Rolex. He bought like designer handbags for his wife, which is literally ridiculous. That's an awful thing to do. No one should do that. So that's like what I just remembered off the top of my head when I decided that I was going to do this project. That just came to mind, and that's literally awful. So I think everyone should know how to avoid these scams. It's awful that like people can't trust people anymore because of people like this man. And so since I decided to dive deep into the topic of frauds, I decided that I need someone who was knowledgeable about the topic. And the person that I thought that I should interview, that we have to like reach out to, I did it via email, and it's a family friend's husband's brother who I interviewed, and he's a financial consultant. And as a financial consultant, they like consult with clients about like ways to like spend their money. Like they help like develop plans financially for like savings and retirements and insurance and investments. And that's what I want to get into, is how they help people find and invest in the right things if that person chooses to. And some of the advice that he gave me I thought was very good advice, and that's what I want to leave off on this video. Just, I think it's 3 tips, that's 6. It's 3 tips on how to avoid scams and schemes. And actually the person who I interviewed had been scammed before. He was a financial advisor. He thought he got this amazing job as in a company, and this company said it was going to be like the next big like Microsoft kind of, and it just ended up being a mess. He actually had to invest money in order to get hired by the company, which he taught me is a red flag. And the company ended up in like shambles, and the person who's behind it like had to go to court and everything happened. So I'm going to teach you ways to avoid financial scams. Some of the advice that he gave me I thought I would share is avoiding the pyramid scheme. And I thought everyone should know this because it can look like you're getting hired for such a good job and then it just be a whole scam. So number one, if they give you an extremely long presentation about why you should join the company, that's just how to be cautious. Not every company who does this is going to be a scheme, but as he's found out, a lot of them are. If it's a really good company, it's as good as a company as they say they are, they're not going to spend 3+ hours trying to get you to work for them. They're just not. They're just going to move on. Oh, you weren't right for the job. They're not going to try to convince you to join their company. If it's a so-called, like, could be billion-dollar empire, they're not going to spend their time, waste their time trying to, like, get you to invest money. They're just going to move on. Oh, we have other investors. I'm investing my money. They're just not going to spend 3+ hours trying to get you to work for them. Number two, if you have to pay money in order to get hired, run. That's what he said. Run. No company should ever make you pay $5,000+ in order to get hired from the company. They're just scamming you. If you think about it, you're putting in your effort, your time, your money that you shouldn't be putting in to the company. If you're working for a company, they should pay you. You shouldn't pay them. Like, think about it. If you're a teacher, for example, you wouldn't pay the school to work there. They would pay you to work there because you're giving in your time, so they're giving you their money. You shouldn't be giving them time and money and effort. It's like a two-way street. So yeah. And number three is if you just so happen to like stumble upon somebody who supposedly works for like the next big empire, they're gonna want trained professionals. I would want trained professionals if I was like creating Kylie Cosmetics. I would want like trained people who I know are able to like handle money, and I wouldn't have to be like cautious of them. So if you just walk into the seminar and they're like, we're gonna be $1 billion company in 10 years, work for us, you'll get like a huge raise each year. And you're like, okay, right now I work part-time at Chick-fil-A. Oh, that's okay, we'll train you, we'll like get you going, you'll be like a pro, you'll know everything. That just seems so sketchy. Like, if I was creating $1 billion empire, I would want someone who went to college, someone who got a major in like financial studies or something, to manage my money. I wouldn't want someone who works part-time at Chick-fil-A to just all of a sudden jump in. So as hard as it may be to hear that, why do they really want me? You should sit down and ask why they really want you. Because do they want you because a company should want you because you have something great to bring to their team, not because you're just the first 100 people that they saw who just happened to walk into their seminar and they were like, she looks like a target. We should hire her. Make her think that she's gonna work for this $1 billion company and then like scam her out of $5,000. That just doesn't seem right. So just think about what you could offer them as like a worthwhile employee. If you really have the experience that it takes, if you really trust the company, believe in the company, take chances, just keep an eye out for these red flags. And I hope this video helps whoever watches it to just be eerie. I don't think you should be fearful of everyone you work with. Like, if you think it's a scam, if you're going to like a business industry, but just definitely keep an eye out, because there are people who thought they were genuinely going to go work for this like next big empire company. They thought they could help people, and they just ended up accidentally not knowing that their boss, the people who are higher up than them, are actually scamming people and them out of their money. And they end up going to jail because some people don't believe that they didn't know. So I hope this video helps, and I will also have a PowerPoint with the rest of my information after this video, but you should watch this video first and then go to the PowerPoint, because I kind of just jump in from where I left off in the PowerPoint. So you should watch the PowerPoint first, and I'll link it in. I'll make a Word document and then I'll link it in the Word document above it, and then I'll have a video link for this video. If I can find a way to upload it, hopefully. Okay, bye.